Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's set of readings. This should be on YouTube channel James 13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. Currently, I am doing in-person readings in Herkimer, New York. If you're near there, feel free to shoot me an email if you want more details. The decks and stuff that I'm using, that's below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. That being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid from whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? Why are we doing it this way? That's a great question. This is gonna be an interesting one. I can already see that. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad. Well, no. I feel like this is gonna go where you need it to go, with a couple little moments where it's kind of like, I have to make a decision. Do I want this or do I not? Okay, so what are we starting from? Who put this in front of you? That's a good question. Did you make the decision is what I'm getting. Did you make the decision? Did you make the decision? Something here with something needed to be balanced out, talking something out, and then I feel like there was a commitment, but the question keeps coming back, did you make the decision? So if you made the commitment, you've made the decision, right? I don't know. It's for some reason I keep getting, did you make the decision? It's almost like if it was a business situation, it's kind of like, we just got this new acquisition, this is what you have to do, and you're like, I'm committed to the process, but did you really make the decision that pulled you into it? Might be something like that. Is it kind of technicality? I didn't really know where this was going to go. I feel like I didn't like it when it happened. It keeps feeling like business. It doesn't have to be business. It doesn't, clearly it's a general read. But I keep getting like somebody else, they did something and I'm part of the whole situation. And so I just feel like I just felt like I had no choice. I felt like I had no choice but to support it. Doesn't mean technically that's true, but it seems like that's how it felt. Like, I keep getting business things. Like, I worked at a couple different places that were taken over by other companies. And when that happened, they do things differently. And it's like, well, if you want the paycheck, you do what they tell you. It's just, that's how it feels. That's how this feels. Doesn't matter if you like it. And it's kind of like, well, I'm here. This is my job. I got to do this. It's kind of, this does not have to be a job thing or a financial thing. It could be a family thing very easily, or even a friend thing, depending how this is working out for you. Now, I do feel like I put in a lot of effort here. And in the beginning, I kind of started to think, maybe this could be more to my liking than I thought it would be. I didn't choose this, but I committed myself to it. And I think it's actually going a lot better than I thought it would. And I'm seeing possibilities here. And maybe it's not that bad. If I just kind of keep to myself, do what I want to do, let people do what they want over there, maybe this isn't that bad. I do feel like I was in question. In question or questioning? In question. How long this would last. 7 of Pentacles that's like a timing, like, it's like planting tomato plants. You could plant them today, but you're not getting tomatoes for a couple months. You know what I mean? So this was going to take some planning, some time, but I kind of was going, you know what? Maybe that's not that bad. It seems like in the moment, it's okay for me. And I do see that, like, I was doing what I needed to get done. I was upholding what I felt like was my responsibility. And I was doing it. I was doing what I needed to do. Okay. As life does, what does this say? You will manifest what you need. But I keep seeing this like you're getting offered something. It just feels like that to me, and there's something else here kind of showing me that too. You will manifest what you need, which is telling me there's a lot of possibilities here. You can make this work. There's an offer. I feel like this is an offer, and just to show you why, another reason is the Ace of Cups is showing up. Somewhere from the side, an offer is coming to you. And it's also saying you don't have to worry about other people in this situation. This is more for you. This one is for you. So I don't know, you might be one of those people who does a lot of things for other people. Or maybe you're in this situation you're in because, well, this is better for this person or that person, or I feel like I need to do this for that reason. Especially if it's a job situation. I have to keep this job because it keeps the food on the table, keeps the rent paid, keeps the mortgage paid, whatever. Keeps this paid, keeps that paid, whatever. You know how that goes. They're saying everything is fine. Everything's going to be fine. You can have this offer. And it's really alluring, but there are nerves with it, kind of like, I don't know if I should be taking that. Because there's also if you take this new offer, there's a long-term commitment with it. And it's kind of like, I can go that way, but this is a different commitment. I'm going to have to give up this one, but I'm going to be committing to something else. And it's kind of, I feel like that gives me a lot of nerves. Like, okay, like, this is anchoring me into something, which seems really good. It feels good, but it's kind of like, I mean, I have this nerve thing. It's like, all right, say it's moving from one house to another, but it's like, all right, I'm giving up the mortgage for this house, but then I'm going to take on the mortgage for this other one, but it could turn out to be very confining, like this last one could have been. I don't know. It feels like it's just like, I just feel like Gemini does not like to be confined. They like to be able to roam and go look at what they need to look at, or go where they want to go. And it becomes really a problem if you can't, in my opinion. So you have two choices. There's a lot of stress going down the popular opinion. It's ironic, because it's like, you could win popular approval by sticking where you are, but there's a lot of stress if you do that. Do I need to go any farther with that? Like, it's very simple, it's to the point. Having public approval or a popular opinion approval. You got the Lover's card reversed. The Lover's card is your card. I'm getting like, going with popular opinion, you're not going to be happy, which I already said that. And it does seem to lock in. It does not let go. If I don't move on now, it feels like it's like, not only am I committed, but I'm locked in. It's not like I have the mortgage, but now I can't leave my house. It's like, I have the mortgage, so I'm committed, I'm paying it, but now I can't even leave my house. That's how that feels. The other option is to actually go for what you want, but then I'm going to have to fight to keep it. It's the Seven of Wands, but I keep feeling like I have to fight to keep it, which is kind of the Seven of Wands. It's kind of like keeping other people away, blocking the door, keeping an eye on the door, not letting people in you don't want in. It's not like nobody can come in, but certain people can't come in. It's like, no, you can't come in. You can, but not you. Just to be fair, let's just roll the dice. A lot more friendships. There's commitment on this one too. There's still commitment. I feel like we already talked about that. But you seem to have more control over this commitment. You have no more negotiability. Kind of like, yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna stay here, but I feel like I have the ability to travel and do what I want more. more. The other one felt like house arrest. It really did. This one feels like, well, I have to be here. I have to be here, you know, like 90% of the time. But that 10%, I can do a lot with that 10%. You know what I mean? So like, how much is 10% of a year? Is that like a month and a half? Or a month and a week? You know, whatever it is. My brain isn't getting there right now. But I'm getting like, I can do, instead of being under house arrest for years on end, say it's 5 weeks just for argument's sake, I can go where I want to five times for a week at a time throughout the year. Like, between the two of those, one of them is clearly a lot better if those are my only choices. I'm just saying. You also have, you got the Three of Cups coming in with that. The Hierophant I was just talking to, but this is telling me you're going to have a lot more people. I just feel like people are coming in and out, coming in and out, coming in and out, but I don't seem to be upset about it. I feel like I'm understanding, like, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. There are going to be people coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. But I feel like, as long as I see it, I don't think it's a problem. In fact, it can be very very vital, very enriching to this situation. Because there's always fresh air, fresh energy, fresh this, fresh that. It's kind of like new people keep coming in and out. It's like people who know how to make this, and I never had that before. And people bring in this, and I never had that before. I'm like, oh, I've had that before, but not the way they make it. It's like people keep coming in and out, and it's kind of like if I'm stuck at this spot for 90% of the time, that actually makes it even better. To this energy just keeps getting refreshed and refreshed. So it has a lot of change and possibilities here, and I don't know what's going to happen next sometimes, and I'm okay with it. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Does it last forever? Whatever it is, I feel like it's, I don't know how this sounds, but taking that other path has a shelf life. Taking the other path has a shelf life. Okay. There's no conflict there. But I get, like, it's going to end when you start to decide I've kind of had enough. You're going to have more control over it. Whatever this new situation is, it's not going to be forever. But when I see these two cards come in, which is the Eight of Wands, what's the other one? Knight of Wands. When you do decide to move on from it, you'll be just done. You're just like, it's kind of like, it's like not letting anybody know that you're interested in selling your house. If it was a house analogy, if we're going to use that, somebody gives you an offer and you're like, yeah, I'll take that. And before you know it, within a month or two, you went through all the paperwork and done everything and you're moved on to something else. It'll happen really fast when it's time. I also get that you're not gonna move forward on this. You're not gonna move on from this until you want to. So that's very comfortable is what I'm getting. Very kind of comforting too. This situation that has a shelf life seems to be determined by you when that shelf life is up. It's not like milk. Milk's just gonna expire when it's gonna expire. And then I'm going to use that same analogy. It's like you took milk and you put it in the freezer. And it's like, well, I've elongated it, so I'll take it out of the freezer when I want. Which I know things don't live forever in the freezer, but still, you know what I'm saying. You seem to have, whenever you're ready, you can move on. Whatever it is when you go into it, I don't think you're going to be like there for only 5 minutes and run. You'll probably be there for a few years, but it's like only when you feel like you're done with it. I feel like one of the signs, in case you're looking for that or wondering like, well, what's going to make me want to move on from it? When the energy around you just doesn't seem like it's worth it anymore. When there's new people coming in and out, but you're like, even that has become predictable. And even though I have these 5 weeks, 5 times a year, a week, 5 times a year, you know what I mean? I already went through an energy. Even though I have that, I feel like it's not enough anymore. It just doesn't work for me anymore. And this energy, it just starts to seem, even though there's flexibility here. It's just even though even the unpredictable is starting to become predictable. It's kind of like, even though there's new people coming in and out, it's just not working for me anymore. It's very rare that it's worth my time. It's very rare that I really feel excited about it anymore. Even if I do, it doesn't last long enough. It moves on. Archangel, what did you say? Okay, so the angels are with you. Creative energy is there. There will be creative energy in this situation. It will be there for the longest time. But I keep getting, even though there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of random things happening, at some point it will start to feel, it will start to feel like it's kind of like, oh, this is starting to become old hat. And when you're ready, that's when you'll go. This reminds me of somebody who, what do you call it? Bed and breakfast or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't really that. It was something where travelers would come in, and they had like this small, I don't think it was actually a bed and breakfast, but it was something like that. And I feel like they did that for a while, and they liked it they did it for years, but after a while they're just like, it was fun when it was fun, but they're just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And they loved it when they were doing it. I was kind of surprised they moved on, but they're just like, no, it just got stale for them. And they're just like, it wasn't bad, but the happiness and the joy they used to get from it just wasn't hitting like it used to. So they just moved on when they were ready. That's what this kind of feels like to me. I really feel like the whole point of this reading is to have you see the opportunity coming and hopefully give you an advantage point, whatever you want to say, to decide what works best for you and where do you want to be, so that you can like have more control. I think the point is for you to have more control and hopefully move you in a position where you have more control, so that you can flourish more in life. I'm seeming to feel like that's the point if this is hitting for you. It is possible, but it's definitely something you have to choose it, clearly. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.